Hello, it's July 18th, 2025. It's windy out. It's going to rain all week, which is okay with me. I'm just giving you an update. I had promised an update because I had mentioned the trial would start August 5th, jury selection, with, I think, a tentative date on the 25th of August. That's all changed. Like, I knew it was going to change. I mean, since my last post, I've been trying to network with different people just to say, help me. I don't know what's happening in the States. I'm in Canada. Give me an update. Do I make travel arrangements? Do I save up money? Do I do Airbnb? Help me. Is it safe to go into the United States? Are they going to deport me once I get across to Las Vegas? What do they call it in the soap opera? Curious minds want to know. A little bit of humor there, but anyway, the trial has been rescheduled for January 12th, 2026. Now, in my previous post someplace, I did mention that it could go into, like 2026, and I was right. But sometimes I hate being right, because I just like this to be over and done with, and that he's, whatever happens, people are at peace with it, and like they've had their day in court and have bared witness to this injustice that it's going to be an historical trial. There are so many young Indigenous men who've been radicalized by Nathan Chasing Horse, and even back then they were other actors who were radicalized by him. And they sort of dispersed and went on their merry way, holding sweats and ceremonies and seducing young girls. But he himself was the key instigator. And throughout these past decades, the amount of radicalized youth that he's influenced and encountered and taken things from, it's a terrible state. But yet, where were our elders and where were our leaders, and why were our leaders enabling him? And in my community, I have issues with my leadership, and I say too, you in my community know who supported Nathan Chasing Horse, and you in my community know that our elections are coming up, and for me as an elder, I would say don't vote for those people. This Nathan Chasing Horse might have charges, again, conspiracy of embezzlement, racketeering, and tax evasion. Now, especially when you're in leadership in First Nations, do you want to have leadership who have been associated with such people? I don't. Or do you want to be associated with people? Like, I can't say anything right now because the United States is in complete chaos over their leadership. That being said, the murdered and missing Indigenous women and just the human trafficking, the amount of young Indigenous boys going missing in Alberta as well, just the whole crisis that's happening. And people get triggered, and if you're triggered, I wish I had some helplines to post and say, here, call these people. But when I talk about families helping other families, it's important. I tend to just isolate. Like you can see, I have a pretty good place to isolate. It's beautiful outside. The other day I saw two elk, male and female, in my backyard. So no, I'm happy where I retired from. But again, too, a lot of our young people are in urban areas, trying to thrive and strive. And a lot depend on monies from people who are curious about what it is to be Indigenous. I have that's another story in itself. But I just want to say that I'm trying to find out when the preliminary hearing is for Nathan Chasing Horse coming up in January now. That's like 5 months away. The reasoning behind this is like I didn't understand, and I want people to understand this. When any person is is arrested and are going to have trial, there are always preliminary hearings. I did not know that. I mean, I'm not a criminal. I haven't been. So I'm laughing right now, and I'm sorry. I apologize ahead of time, but my closest friends tell me that, Marina, when you don't want to deal with stuff, you start laughing. So anyway, preliminary hearings, there's so much evidence, terabytes, I think 16 terabytes, emails, text messages, banking statements, written statements, witness testimonies, just oodles and oodles of information that they've gathered against him since 2023. Now, in the preliminary hearing, all that will be shown. They will have him have a chance to listen to all of it. As he listens to it with his new lawyers, he will determine if he's going to plead guilty or not guilty. Now, it's all hearsay and speculation because I wasn't at the first preliminary hearing in his first charges, the ones that the Supreme Court of Nevada dropped. But apparently in that, he had pleaded guilty. I think that he would have served 20 years before eligible for parole. But that case was dismissed. Now, again, he could get off in January. I'm just saying the reality. This is the court system. But at the same time, too, all the evidence is going to be presented at the preliminary hearing. And I'd like to bear witness to that. I'd like to go and listen. I haven't seen this young man in 20 years. Before I met him, I used to network with a lot of youth programs and women's programs. And because of the distrust, I stopped doing networking like that until just recently. In the past 10 years, I've got back into trusting people and helping organizations. So those things aren't easy to overcome, especially when you have so much for our young people to help, to learn how to teach and help other young people. I mean, when I was his age, I was working in the state of Utah. When he came into my community, when I was his age, I was working in the state of Utah, looking after high-risk teenage girls who were highly suicidal. So, yes, I did trust him. I thought at least he had the skills that I had when I was his age. But apparently, no. Now, at the same time, too, people wonder, why do I keep this up? Well, at the time, I was my late mother's caregiver. And in the matriarchal system, she needed help. There were so many things happening within my family, and I had to step in for my mother and say and help in the capacity she wanted to be helped with, like taking care of her grandchildren in the best way that I knew how to protect them. Which, again, if I wasn't my mother's caregiver, I wouldn't have even bothered. I lived in the States for over a decade, and all this family stuff I was away from. So for me, encountering Nathan Chasing Horse and having to try and get support and just try to help my mom's grandchildren was really difficult. That's why I say it takes a village to raise a child. And in our communities, it takes more than just one family to help. It takes more than two families. It takes a village. And within that village too, being a victim, it's not there's no set solution where you can do it yourself. It takes family, and it takes groups of families, support groups to help you maneuver through your healing process. This being said, I will post the Clark County website and the file number for Nathan Chasing Horse, the past records from the previous trial that was dismissed in 2023. Whatever's happening now until January 12th, I will try to keep you updated and posted. Because, again, I'm not too sure how things will go, but at least it'll give me 5 months to prepare and to get some support in Las Vegas so that when I do go down there, I won't feel like I'll be deported or that I'll have some support. And I don't want to stay too long. I just want to be there for the part of the preliminary hearing, which I hope will be a week, and then leave and keep you posted on what's going on. That being said, if he pleads not guilty, there will be a trial. And for me, if there is a trial, that's okay. I don't feel like I need to attend. I think the key thing right now for me is just to attend the preliminary hearing, and that's it. So I hope you have a good summer. Like it's, the wind's picking up. It'll rain all weekend here, which is nice. But enjoy your summer and be kind to each other. Life is really being difficult for people, especially in the United States, when so many people are turning against each other just because they don't feel like they belong.